Hello Leo, this is a tarot reading for you for the month of February. Usually I prefer to do timeless readings, but I decided that maybe once a month I could post some monthly predictions for each sign. I'm using my own tarot cards for this reading. I call it the Duality Tarot or Tarot of Duality. It doesn't matter, it has 108 cards. At the end I'm going to pull something from two smaller decks that I recently created in the past 3 days very quickly. And something else before I get into the reading. Oh, I feel like I'm getting a little bit sick, so it could be that my voice sounds weird, rough, or could just break away in between. And also, you might hear me sipping some tea in between because it's just so cold. I'm also like, I'm holding this cup all the time because I want to keep my hands warm. I'm just feeling so cold. Even wearing a lot of clothing, even having wrapped a blanket around my hip, it's still so cold. I don't know. It's just, I might get sick. I have a feeling that there are two important topics in your reading coming up. There is one topic about feminine toxicity or toxic femininity, let me put it that way. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. Maybe if you are a man, a heterosexual man, maybe you felt attracted to the wrong woman a lot, like to manipulative and cunning women who... I don't want to go too deeply into it. You might know what I mean. Like, there is toxic masculinity, but there's also toxic femininity. So that's just what it is. And if you're a woman, you might have friends or a mother or some other family member who's like this, or a teacher, a boss, whatever. Or just, in general, something that you might realize about society. I feel like this is one topic that's coming up in your reading, but I also feel there is, and it could be romantic for many people, even if you're a woman and you feel attracted to women, that you felt attracted to, toxic women, or if you're a heterosexual woman, maybe you just, I don't know, lose your boyfriends to toxic women all the time. Some men, it's like an addiction for them, just like women often like terrible men. I think men often also like terrible women, these femme fatales, or however they are being called. It's just, especially when we are younger and not so mature, often we fall for this stuff. But some of us, not all of us, unfortunately, as we mature, we don't, feel attracted to these things so deeply anymore, or in the best case, it's not at all anymore, and we will see through that. But as I said, not all people get to that level. And they will always run after the bad guys and the bad girls or women. So there's just another thing that I'm strongly feeling could be job related. It doesn't have to be for everyone, what for many it is. I feel like you could either have already left a certain profession, not just your employer or this workplace, but the entire profession, or you will soon leave it, or you are thinking of leaving it, or you are not thinking of leaving it, but you are aware of the field that you are working in being very, very toxic. Like, not that colleagues and boss all amongst each other or towards each other are being toxic, but this whole establishment of this profession, whatever profession it is also toxic for society. Sorry, I have to take a sip of tea. And let me just show you the cards a little bit. The first card is the Autumn card, and I immediately understood that this is not to be taken literal, like autumn because we are still in winter. This is, to me, I immediately saw when I looked at this card and then the next card here, this Black Magic Curse card, like there's just a veil. On one hand, autumn can represent a change, but it's also some kind of veil that's being lifted. Like, I know the leaves are falling off as a metaphor for the curtains coming down, and when the curtains are down, behind that you will suddenly see this manipulative, evil woman poisoning something, poisoning your food. Not literally, but poisoning your thoughts, poisoning just your perception, your emotions. Yeah, it's manipulative, and you will have this realization. With this ego card, let me put it right next to this fire card. I see this as your job environment. It could be that your boss was someone who was very sadistic, someone who enjoyed others picking a fight, even, you know what some narcissists do? For example, when they try to make their children, the siblings, start to fight with each other. Like provoking them, and I don't know the English expression for this. When you put a negative idea about someone into someone's head and you just invent some rumors, or you're saying, yeah, your brother said this and that about you even though he didn't, but then you believe it and then you get angry at your brother, you know, this kind of stuff. And it could be that this boss is like that or was like that, and you know, this person was just, I strongly feel it's a man in this case, and those two things, they don't have anything directly to do with each other. In a huge societal, universal perspective, they do have something to do with each other, but in your reading, somehow not. I see a split between those cards. This is just a more private thing that you're realizing, and this is something about your work, about the field that you work in. It could also be that not only the boss enjoyed the social struggle amongst the colleagues and really provoked that to happen. It could also just be that this, you know, the boss took most of the credits, pretended to pay them really well, but when you took a closer look into how much money this business was actually making, like the boss is, you know, he's just sitting there on this treasure box with the crown and the jewels and pearls, like yeah, it's just, I'm also feeling like this profession, whatever it might be, as I said earlier, it could also have some negative effects onto society in general, and make people feel like shit or criticize each other. Like even people who don't work in this field. There's just one thing that's coming into my mind. Maybe, you know, like advertisement companies, I don't know if you call it like that. People, or like cosmetic stuff, cosmetic industry. They can have a very toxic effect on society and make people want things that they don't need, but make them believe they urgently need that and drive them into financial crisis or something, or make them feel unworthy if they don't have it, or like, you know, clothing brands. Some people then get bullied at school because they can't afford the more expensive clothing brands. You know what I mean. It could be that you are working in some kind of environment like that. And even amongst your colleagues, it's a just a bad social climate. And this fire card, I mean, you are a fire sign, but I feel like it also stands for your emotion. Like, I think this is all like making you very, very angry. Like, it just makes you burn up from the inside. Like, you're becoming very fiery about it. Maybe you sometimes also wish you could just, burn this whole place down. Or, you don't have to do it yourself. Maybe just a lightning strikes the building and destroys the whole company or something like that. Sometimes we have those thoughts. Like, if there's really something horribly abusive going on, I don't think it's always bad or unnatural to have such a thought, because some people, you just can't help them anymore. You can give everything you have to them and they still will make you feel like crap. And they will just drop you when you have nothing, when you're depleted and have nothing more to give. They just throw you away. Like, they just wanted to use all your energy, and if you have no more energy to give, like, they just spit you out. And I think in such a case, we have a right to sometimes have these vengeful thoughts. And then the next row is suddenly completely shifts. I feel like I'm saying this so often in my readings. I don't want to give false hope to people, but for some it could be that you might get to know a woman who is not at all like this one, but the entire opposite. It's also interesting that these cards are exactly below each other. It could also be that you are meeting a woman that you want to start a family. I mean, even if you yourself are a woman, I think in some countries it is possible and allowed. Or if it's just friends related, maybe you're a woman and you get to know another woman with whom you can become friends, who is very different than your usual squad type that you socialized with. There's just some very gentle feminine presence suddenly in your second row. And I don't take this as a metaphor, this pregnancy card. It could be a woman that is literally pregnant or will become pregnant. It could be you becoming pregnant. But it could also be just a woman, because the way I painted her, she's also pregnant with many ideas. She has this, this bubble here with the light bulbs and numbers and geometry. Like, it could be a woman who's very creative, who's very pregnant with wisdom even. And I feel like this will just, blow all this away. And even if it's not something romantic or a friendship, it could be that maybe you change school. If you're still going to school, maybe you change school and you will have a very nice female teacher who will help you a lot. Just by being the way she is. With the new card, I think it represents many things, because it's an entirely new energy that we are going into in the second row. So that's what it stands for, but it also stands for your clothing. Maybe you will go shopping or something, renew some stuff. Maybe you will also just polish up some old stuff, make it look new. Maybe if it's a romantic thing and you are going out with this woman, you will take care of your looks a little bit more. Sometimes we have phases in our life where we let that, I don't know how to say, drift, or we just let it. It's not our highest priority, but maybe meeting this person, or if you are the woman you could be that gentle presence for someone in his life. And then you might, just refresh yourself a little bit. We have sustainability and taking, and I want to push those two together, the pregnancy and the sustainability card, because I feel like whoever this person is, in which relationship it stands to you. I mean, in a family situation, it's very clear. It seems to be someone, or you seem to be someone for that person who's very reliable, whom they want to start a family with, or you want to start a family with this woman. It is something you can build onto. It is something very trustworthy, something very fertile, like fertile, grounded. It just seems to make a lot of sense for you to invest into this person emotionally, mentally, physically. Just, the whole package. And if it's not romantic, if it's a friendship, I mean, you know what it can stand for. It's a bit similar to romantic stuff. We just stay keeping the physical stuff out. But besides that, it's very similar. And if it's a teacher or, someone whom you have a little more distance relationship with, it just maybe means that you will, whatever it is, feel very secure when you think of your future. Like when you think, oh, I still have to go to school for 2 more years, but then suddenly it will not be a burden to think about that. You will actually like this idea that maybe for the next 2 years you can be around this teacher, or, it just gives you a stable feeling. And taking might mean that maybe usually you are more a giver, and maybe also in this job and in these previous relationships that you had, you were always the one who was giving, and maybe this could be reversed now. Maybe it is your time for you to receive something and for you to learn how to accept something, because some people, they feel ashamed, or they feel like they don't deserve to be given something for free. Oh, and sorry, I lost track. I think some people are just afraid of being a burden to someone or exploiting someone. Some people are so sensitive about this, and I think maybe you are someone like that, and this is just something that might come naturally to you, or you will have to learn it. You will be forced to learn to, just accept a gift, even if it's just a small thing, to not feel guilty about receiving something. At the bottom of the deck, we have authenticity. So maybe due to the relationships that you chose and the jobs that you had or still have, maybe you were becoming a little bit of a people pleaser, and sometimes you said things that you didn't mean because you had to, because otherwise you would have gotten fired. If you're just carrying your heart on your tongue and say, whatever is on your heart, and it immediately comes out of your mouth, I mean, sometimes we could get into big trouble for that. And I think by changing your environment, by being around people where you don't have to pretend to be someone else, because they are not abusive and they love you, that will just, make you change the way you speak, the way you behave towards others, because you will trust this new environment or this new person, and you will not be afraid to speak what's on your heart or on your mind. That's how I feel about this. So now let me get into the extra cards. I call this the Lifestyle Tarot. And as I said, I think I said it earlier in the beginning, I made it very quickly. It's not like perfect drawings, but you know, it's enough. It has 45 cards, and before I pull one, please, 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 do not take this too literal. I do not replace your doctor. If there's something medical coming up, don't fully rely on this tarot reading. Cold. It's February, it's cold in a lot of parts of the world, so maybe you want to make sure you keep yourself warm, wear thick clothing, and don't... Or, you know, there's also another type of person, you know, some people, they always feel hot, heated up, like they have this tremendous body heat somehow, and they can... In cold temperature, they don't have to wear thick clothing because they are just not freezing. But even to those people, it can be risky to not wear proper clothing. Even if you feel warm, your skin and your body, they might feel a little bit different, and you could catch a cold if you don't watch this. Tidy and clean. So maybe this is something you want to do during February. Could also just mean that maybe you want to declutter. If you already changed your social environment, and here we have the new card, maybe you will replace some worn out stuff with new stuff. Then we have eyes, so this I interpret as taking good care of your eyes. Maybe there's something about your eyesight, maybe it's increasing or decreasing, maybe you need new glasses, maybe you are at the risk of, you know, some kind of eye infection, or if you're watching too much TV, it can be very draining for our eyes. So just take care of your eyes. It could also just mean, because it's cold, that our eyes become very dry due to the cold air outside, and the dry air, you know, when we turn on our heaters, it also dries up the air in the apartment. So make sure to take care of that. And then we have music. So that might be something that could be very relevant to you right now. Maybe you want to make music, listen to music, and that could be helpful for you. I'm also thinking, because I said here's something about advertisement, maybe this is a toxic work environment, or not this whole commercial stuff and fashion and beauty, grocery stuff, you know what I mean. Maybe it could also stand for, maybe you've been working in the music industry. I think this is also a quite toxic place, and these celebrities, sometimes in front of the camera they pretend to be friends, but actually they are super competitive and they all want to win their prizes, and those big label bosses know that, and maybe the label bosses from different labels, they also compete with each other, and then they want to see people jump on each other's throats because it's interesting press. Then they will get a lot of, it's like an advertisement for them when they make their little puppet celebrities fight each other, then it will be in the news. I don't know why some news departments, news, how do you call that? My God, news, you know what I mean? News stations. Oh God, I don't know the English word. When they post this stuff on their pages, I often think they are completely dumb, and it's just not a serious news station when they post about this celebrity stuff. And Yeah, but many do that, and then these articles, I think they get a lot of clicks, and then people maybe buy a lot of records of these celebrities that are in the news. So I think that's how it works somehow. So maybe if you have worked in this field, that could also be something I'm thinking of. But it could also just be for some people that music is a reminder that music can be healing, music can help you. And, you know, as I said, this reliable, trustworthy person here, she doesn't have to be literally pregnant, but she could just be creative, pregnant with a lot of ideas. Maybe you share that interest. Maybe, yeah, maybe you want to learn an instrument, something like that. Oh, I almost forgot. And here are the animal messages. This deck has so far only 25 cards because I couldn't find the time to continue drawing, and it's also just, you know, very quick scribbling I did. 25, and they are very sarcastic. I don't know if everyone likes that, but I think it's funny. These animal cards, I will probably continue drawing them in the next few days because I have so many more ideas. I wrote such a huge list, but I can't find the time and patience for drawing at the moment. I'm a little bit confused because I heard some weird noises from my neighbor and I thought maybe someone fell, but I think it's okay. Number 1. I'm a parasite. The parasite, yeah. I would like to place this card here on this cursed black magic woman. Actually, I want to place it between this woman and this terrible work environment and this terrible boss. Because such people can be very parasitic. Next one. Dog, I obey you. In a negative sense, this could be your energy that you were a little bit codependent regarding these toxic romantic relationships or toxic friendships towards women, you know, towards the wrong women, that you were a little bit obedient to such people also in your job. I mean, you don't want to lose your job, so sometimes you have to be a little bit obedient, even if it makes you want to vomit. But, you know, sometimes in life, we have to swallow stuff, unfortunately. And this is one way I'm seeing this card, but I also see it in a positive light. In the second row, I think whomever this person is, if you are this woman or if you are the man meeting this woman or whatever constellation it is, I think there will be like a healthy kind of obedience. You know, it's such a negative word, but appreciation, admiration for each other. Just being faithful, loyal towards each other. One card fell down. It's the zebra. I'm extravagant and untamable. Where do we put this? I'm not getting any arrogant vibes from you or this good person that you might meet. I would put it on this new shoe, so maybe you will feel a little bit, if it's a romantic thing at all, you might feel a little bit more attractive because this person will make you feel this way because they truly perceive you this way and you will feel that. But I don't think you're untamable in that situation. You might become untamable because maybe this fire inside of you, this anger that is burning, will make you so strong that you will not stick to this toxic woman stuff and to this toxic work environment anymore, that it will just give you the guts to end whatever this is and to become untamable, to not let those people drain you anymore. I want one more. The snail. I'm homely and leisurely, or leisurely, however you pronounce this. Oh, this camera is so annoying. Now it's sharp. It just represents the energy of this, sustainability with this person together. That you might feel like home. Like if it's a teacher or a professor or something, that this person might make you feel more at home wherever you study or learn. If it's a romantic thing, you want to start a family with this person. That's just what it means. And if it's a friendship, this person might just make you feel like home. So I'm just leaving it here. I hope it resonates with someone or with several people in the best case. And I thank you so much for watching.